Hello guys, it's me Lunar, welcome back to another PUBG update video. The live update 5.2 is out now, and I'm going over all of the changes in the patch notes, including PUBG Labs, the new spike traps, vikendi changes, and bug fixes. If the video is helpful, a like is appreciated. Let's jump straight into it then, guys, with the first new feature, PUBG Labs. PUBG Labs is a space introduced for you to experiment with in-game features and allow for devs to collect your feedback to perfect them as permanent game additions. You can find PUBG Labs in the new menu under the play button, and PUBG Labs will continue to be updated with new content, new rule sets, and maybe even some new vistas to take in down the road, presumably meaning there will potentially test out new maps or new map features. The most important part of PUBG Labs is your opinion, so make sure to leave feedback for the new experimental features. The first PUBG Lab experiment will be skill-based ratings, and it will be available until January 26th. The system will track your skill and give you a rating with each game you play, and the skill-based rating is separate from the current survival title system. Ratings will be applied for each mode based on the player's skill level, and you must first complete 5 placement matches before you are given a rating. After you finish 5 rating evaluation matches, your rating will be adjusted based on factors such as kills and your overall placement in the match. You can leave your feedback about the changes to your ratings after the end of each match. For 1 week after the skill-based rating test ends, all players who participated will be able to share their feedback on the system via a survey, which will run in console from January the 7th until January the 14th. So guys, you can participate in PUBG Labs right now if you want to. You don't need to, and it won't affect anything in game if you do or don't participate. But if you feel like testing out and having your feedback on skill-based ratings, then you can do that. Let's move on to the features of the update, starting with spike traps, which have been added. Spike traps puncture the tires of any vehicle that runs over the strip of spikes. A spike trap can only damage one vehicle before it disappears, and punctured tires of vehicles do not damage overall vehicle health. Spike traps are spawned at rates consistent with throwables across the map, and the spike traps themselves are considered throwables, and you can lay a spike trap by selecting it and pressing RT on Xbox or R2 on PS4, and once you've laid a spike trap, you cannot pick it back up. Next, we have changes to vikendi, starting with improved terrain. The new roads have been added to address the difficulty of moving through certain snow-covered areas of vikendi. Along with the roads added, the number of vehicles across the map has been increased, and their locations have been modified. A cold front is moved through, and the river around the castle has frozen over to allow you to navigate the area more easily. Located at the centre of vikendi, Mount Kresnik, it consists of various terrain types that are difficult to navigate due to how steep the mountain is. To improve this, the overall height of the mountain has been lowered, and they've shrunk the mountain just a bit to make it easier. To adjust the game balance, some buildings in areas of vikendi have been removed or replaced with different buildings. Also, the field of vision gained from height difference in the buildings has been adjusted. Vikendi had a few ups and downs in its overall terrain, making it difficult for players to hide or take cover when encountering enemies. To improve this, they've varied the terrain across the entire map to make it easier to hide or take cover. Basically, they wanted it to be easier to hide from long-range snipers. Next, they've improved certain towns across vikendi. A few of vikendi's towns were seldom visited due to complex structures or not enough loot, and they've made some adjustments to the following areas. Volnova has been reshaped in general, major buildings and driving routes have been modified. Item spawn counts in Peshkova have increased, and the garages where vehicles are spawned in Trevno have been relocated to allow easier escape after looting. So you can go and test out those new areas now to see if they have improved. Finally, they've improved the overall gameplay balance. So the blue zone balance on vikendi has been adjusted so that players can set up strategies using more varied routes. The size of early safe zones has increased, the safe zone has become wider, but the speed of early blue zones has increased. The size and speed of mid and final blue zones has been adjusted to a similar level of existing ones, and the randomness of blue zone location throughout the match has increased. To reflect player feedback on insufficient vehicles spawning on vikendi, the vehicle spawn counts across the entire map has increased, and the location of vehicle spawns has been modified in accordance to the new blue zone balance. So vikendi has been improved overall, and of course they will make more adjustments if they need to based on player feedback of that. Next, console quality of life improvement, and this is the first console and quality of life improvement, and they're starting with a controller improvement. And that improvement is keeping aim while in ads. So based on community feedback, they're adding various controller features, and the first one is while holding aim or the adds button, you can keep your aim or aim down sights even if you take an action which usually breaks your aim, such as falling, jumping, crouching, or going prone. So for example, when you were before moving and you were holding down the aim down sight button and you were say falling down a hill, before you would have to release the adds button and hold it again in order to aim. But now, after this update, you can just continue to hold the adds button, and as soon as the fallen action has finished, you will continue to aim down your sights or just aim. And this feature will hopefully bring more dynamics to gunfight experiences on console. For another change to console, they've changed the vehicle control on controller preset Type C. So preset Type C was designed to provide more focus on gunplay than the other presets, and for vehicle control they felt it unnecessary to have its own binding, as they couldn't see any meaningful data which shows any improvements to the gameplay. So they're changing the vehicle control to the same key binding as preset A and B. Going forward, for quality of life changes on console, they'll be fixing the problem of not being able to keybind as players want due to controller limits. And they're currently testing customizing key binding while preparing various controller presets as well, and they hope to provide this feature in the early part of 2020. And next, adjustments to swimming and diving. Swimming speeds have increased by 27%, diving speed has increased by around 20%, breathing recovery speed has increased by about 10%, it now takes 9 seconds for full recovery, and the maximum diving time has increased by 33%, you can now dive for up to 20 seconds. To weapon mastery, they've added a feature to filter out weapons. On the weapon mastery screen, you can now change the order of the weapons by using the weapons navigation filter. You can sort out weapons using the following criteria: default, in alphabetical order, by level, or by damage. Next up, user interface and user experience changes, and all of the changes in this update are to the in-game store. So the store menu's user interface has been overhauled. You can check the store's featured products from the featured tab. You can check all of the items sold by BP and Gcoin from the items tab. User interface has improved to be more intuitive. You can use items using different coupons earned from various rewards from the coupon shop. Gcoin tab has been changed to add-ons. You can buy Gcoin and DLC packages from the add-ons tab now. The descriptions are easier to navigate, and finally, the following items have been added to the store. Added a 1 Gcoin battlestat weapon, the MK47. Added 2 BP battlestat weapons, the MP5K and the QBZ. Added 1 BP Madzu belt and Madzu shoes, and added a new BP crate, the Venetian crate, which contains 17 new gun skins. Next, sound improvements. There is one of these. The sound effect for each type of object being shot has been improved. Guys, that just leaves us with a whole bunch of bug fixes which you can hopefully see on the screen. Like always, there's nothing too exciting in those. But that is it for this one, all the changes made to the game in the 5.2 update, which is out right now. Let me know in the comments if you like the changes made in the update and what you want to see added to the game in the next one, other than the obvious performance improvements. I'll be back as soon as there's any user updates for the game to go over. In the meantime, look out for Modern Warfare and Apex updates and news on upcoming games, including things like Insurgency Sandstorm for console. Like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.